Hey everybody, welcome to episode 66 of the Tesla Life for September 26, 2018. That theme song you heard is from our friend Lee Moon, by the way, who I always forget to credit at the end of the show. Thank you, Lee Moon. Thank you. It's a great little song. We love that.
Lee is in the chat.
My name is Russell Frost. Ostensibly, I'm kind of waving the baton here, but really, I just sort of nod a lot. Let's introduce everybody else and get this show on the road today. My wingman on the Tesla Life. You know him. He's our man in the KW region, the red Model 6 that he actually has the guts to take out of his garage, unlike that other guy.
The red Model 6?
Model 3.
What is that?
I have no idea. That's two Model 3s stuck together.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
It's a lot of
Model
duct tape.
3s.
His name is Mark Coughlin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We've got incredible news this week. We have, as many know from our Twitter feed already, we've got a whole bunch of screenshots from version 9 software update that we will be talking about later in the show.
Wait, we are? We do?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, before we get to version 9, let's introduce the third leg of this tripod. He is our friend in Chicago, Mr. Tony Schaefer.
Hi, everybody. Glad to be here. Lee, thanks for the music. David and Mark and JT. Looks like we got regulars coming in so far in the chat. Hope to see some more people joining us soon.
Yay, chat room.
Where else can you interact with the show live as it happens but here?
I cannot think of a single other show.
Do you want the
live
list?
audience.
I mean, no. Not as much fun as us.
Not even close.
Not even close. No. Well, let's get this started. Mark has the first story of the week.
Yeah, it turns out that cars not only crash with other cars on the normal road surface, but apparently they crash with planes as well.
Oh!
Yeah. We had an incident of a Tesla Model X getting clipped by a plane that was coming in for a crash landing and took out part of the front, as you can see in the photo, and a good part of the door. and the plane spun out into the center section of the roadway behind it. So it just clipped it with a wing. But you can obviously getting clipped at a high speed of a plane coming in for an emergency landing causes lots of damage, and that's what you see on the screen. But thankfully, the pilot and the driver of the Model X were fine after the crash. And it turns out that this was a federal agency plane. We've got a DEA plane that crashed here. So, yeah, so that's another thing for people to keep their eye out when they're on the road is watch for falling planes, because apparently it can happen anywhere at any time.
All of a sudden, I don't want to go out driving anymore.
Yeah, like, man, if you think the roads are bad with other drivers, you got to start. Yeah. And maybe that's what's great in the Model X. You got that extra windshield above your head. You can see up. You don't have to look around. It's right there in front of you. Oh, look, here comes another plane.
Yeah. You can watch them as they try to kill you.
See, I see the damage to the front quarter panel here of the X. And honestly, I say shame on Tesla for not crash testing cars and planes in an offset.
That is a whole new category, Tony.
Yeah.
Right. The plane vehicle collision. Like, where is? Yeah.
That's probably not going to happen soon, but maybe that's something for expanding at the National Transportation Safety Board. They should be thinking about the plane crash simulation.
Yeah. I do want to say that I think the plane looks worse than the Model X.
Yeah, definitely. It does look like it took more of a hit for sure.
Relatively speaking, I think the Model X came out of this okay. The plane.
Yeah, but I think when you put things in perspective, I mean, the Model X was hit by another vehicle. The airplane literally fell out of the sky.
Right.
So it might be a bit of a comparison. It's all relative.
It's
Also,
all relative for where you sit.
Yes, David's got some good ones in the chat. So DEA fights Tesla. Tesla wins, and maybe the DEA was mad at Elon for his Rogan moment.
Ah.
Maybe the DEA just assumes that every Tesla owner is smoking pot.
I got nothing. Anything I say here is just going to get me in trouble. And oh wait, my phone's ringing.
I got the phone. Let's see if the lawyer calls.
Okay. Yeah, she said go to the next story.
All right.
So that was the Tesla Life Attorney, by the way. So I think Mark has the next story.
Next is about supercharger, I guess, upcharges, as well as in-car payment is coming to North America. So everybody knows that if you go to a supercharger and you have, say, a Model 3 where you have to pay for the charge, that amount hits your Tesla account. And it can hit your credit card directly on the Tesla account that can pay for it. But they are now offering an in-car payment system that will allow you to pay for the charge with a credit card just through your touchscreen while you're at the supercharger or shortly thereafter. So this is a modification that they've added, or an option that they want added, because, of course, your account that you've got on your Tesla account, you could change the credit card, you could take it off. It may not be connected any longer, but this will allow you to have another option of paying. Another thing that has come into play is that if you've got an account, what was that?
I don't even know what. Oh, don't even get me started about this picture.
I would like to think that this was a temporary parking just for the picture, and then they promptly moved the car.
You know what it is they probably couldn't get close to the charger based on that the bike was sticking out the back, so they can't get up real close to the short charger arm to plug in. So that's probably what they were doing. But
I love part of this, by the way. And
but now what's happening now is that the chargers, if they are 50% full or more full, like 100%, there are now different penalty charges for people that stay beyond them charging once they're full.
This is a wonderful thing.
So you're now getting a surcharge of 50 cents a minute or $1 a minute if the chargers are completely full, that the owner is now being dinged for if they don't move their vehicle or unplug their vehicle and move it. So that you're right. The worst thing is coming to a charger and finding that one or more of the ports are being used by people that don't need it at the time. When you need a charge, that's the worst possible thing you could see, is that besides maybe a pickup truck parked across 12 of them, that you've got the issue that somebody with an EV that should know better is sitting there taking up space when they don't need to, and it's not adding any more charge to their vehicle. So Tesla now has changed that they are going to be charging an extra fee based on how full the chargers are. 50% full and up to 100% full are going to be either 50 cents a minute or $1 a minute extra.
Which is brilliant. It's good because if you don't have that charge, there's no motivation for people to be on top of it, to unplug and move their vehicle out of the way when they're not done charging. And I've seen it. I don't know how big a problem it is nationwide or worldwide, but I'm glad to see Tesla getting ahead of this issue.
Okay. Have either of you guys read Freakonomics, the book?
No.
Okay. So are you familiar with Freakonomics?
I try not to be.
Okay. They are economics people, but not just bean counters, more of the correlation behind human behavior sort of stuff. And they make, of course, their conclusions have been contested by people, but they make, they draw correlations between seemingly unrelated things. One of the scenarios, one of the stories they tell was about an after-school program where parents would show up late to pick up their kids. Instead of 6, they would show up at 6:15, 6:30 So finally they said, okay, we're going to charge people $5 if you come in late. And they said, this is going to stop people from coming in late because we're going to hit them in their pockets. It turns out more people started showing up late because now they realized they could just buy more time.
Because they didn't price the late charge
correctly. Yeah, the $5 should have been $50.
Right.
Right. You know, but, you know, it does sort of, you know, I'm just saying.
You may not get the desired effect that you want.
Some people may use this as an opportunity to park their car. And all they have to do is pay something.
Okay, wait a second. Now, again, not your story is entirely valid, Mr. Schaefer. But if Tesla owners are willing to pay Tesla between $30 and $60 an hour for a parking space, then Tesla should by all means take that money.
Okay,
and they should open up new lots across the country as well.
Right. Okay, I guess that's true. I mean, $1 a minute is pretty substantial. So yeah, I don't think people are going to pay $60 an hour.
Or $30 an hour if it's not fully occupied. That's fine. If the thing's empty, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, even downtown Chicago, that's a lot of money. So okay.
Yeah, everywhere that's a lot. $60 an hour to park. I mean, yeah, that's good money anywhere.
Right.
Sorry. Was I too forceful there?
So here's a thought. Let's say you plug in your car, and I'm getting this from 0 and 0. When does the calculation occur? If it's 40% full and you plug in, and while you're charging, it goes 100% full. Are you charged 50 cents or $1?
I think when you're done charging is when that
whatever it's at.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is you didn't know when you walked away, it wasn't that full.
Well, and again, this is going to promote a more responsible way of monitoring your vehicle. You can do it via your phone.
Right.
It's not like you have to stand there. You can walk away and go get lunch or shop or a massage or whatever it is you're doing that day. You know, and you can monitor it on your phone when it's just about done. It's like, okay, I got to go check my car because, you know,
yeah.
Or just plan that, you know what, in half an hour, I got to move my car regardless. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. You know, I can do something for half an hour, but now I have to move the car.
Yeah. Right. And you guys understand, I'm just throwing out all these different scenarios just so we can air them out. So
I'm not having a lot of sympathy here for somebody who wants to leave their car at the supercharger all day.
Oh no, I totally agree. Especially if they, especially if they park like this guy.
Oh no, Tony.
No, same guy. You know,
oh, that one. Yeah.
So he's charged like $3 an hour, I think.
I wish, right?
He
won't be, but he should be.
Right.
Let's just hope that was really for the picture.
Oh yeah. Also, one more thing.
No.
Yes. No. 0 has pointed out that Tesla now has pull-through spots in some of their charging locations.
In some banana.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So this goes back to Mark was talking about in the image here. It could have been the bike that was keeping him from backing in. Now they have pull-through spots for trailers and whatnot.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I think this is a great move by Tesla, and it's fair to everyone. And there you go.
And like you said, they had to get ahead of it because of the volume of cars are now going up substantially. So get ahead of it before it crushes you.
Well, and the other thing is, there are Model S and X owners that are charging for free and have charged for free at superchargers all their lives. And some of them, maybe not all of them, maybe, I don't know what percentage.
Maybe feeling a little bit entitled?
Maybe used to like pulling up and not paying for charging and leaving the car there all day while they're at work. Right. And meanwhile, maybe somebody else was like, damn it, I needed to get a charger. So again, these idling charges are good because you just have to be a little more vigilant. That's all.
Yeah. And maybe for the last 2 years, 3 years, they were just accustomed to being the only one in the lot.
Yeah.
And that's going to change.
It is. And you know why it's going to change, Tony?
For the Model X, the Model 6?
The Model 6. That's correct. The Model 6. Let's talk about the Model 3 and the number 5. NHTSA, that's the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Yes, I know that from right off the top of my head. NHTSA has released its crash ratings for the Model 3, and Tony has generously put up the pictures. And it gets perfect 5-star safety ratings in every category, which again, you know, that's a wonderful thing that Tesla has engineered these vehicles to be so safe, to be so durable in wrecks. And we've seen this over and over again. You know, we've certainly talked about the fatality accidents and whatnot, but overall, these are vehicles that are engineered to be super, super safe. And all of these test results bear that out. Overall front rating 5, side star rating 5, combined side barrier, overall pole star rating. I mean, you run this thing into just about anything except an enormous steel spike, and it does really, really good. And maybe they did run into the big steel spike. I don't know. Is that
what about the Cessna?
The Cessna? They're not testing for Cessna damage.
Yeah.
But over and over again, Tesla vehicles pass these tests with very strong results. And that is super awesome, because it's not enough to make a cool car or a fast car or even just a cool, fast electric car. It should also protect the inhabitants of the car.
The most important part.
Yeah.
Yes.
The peoples who pay the bill.
These are pretty brutal pictures. That is not auto park. That is not how auto park works.
Just fits it into that's how you get into the compact spots.
Oh, right.
You crush your front end right up to the front tire.
Why don't any of these Model 3s have Aero wheels?
Yeah.
They all have the sport wheel thing.
They all have the more expensive wheels.
That is
what's up with that?
But I noticed they are black. Don't see any Model 3 3-coat red on these cars, do you? It's the black car.
They found a perfect use for the ones with the bad paint.
Man, I would have swapped my Arrows for those sport wheels if they had asked.
Right?
You're just going to ram it into a wall anyways. Like, how much is there a difference, really?
Who cares? I don't know why they don't send primer cars. You know what I mean? Like, the paint surely can't have a difference.
Maybe because they know the photos get released and
I was
want the car to look good.
Well, do you think it is for photos? Do you think some colors don't show well, especially with the dots and the whatnot?
Oh, that's an interesting idea. I don't know, Tony.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the wheels would matter. Honestly.
It still pains me to watch the video of this, of these brand new cars being slung into cement walls and being slammed from the side by sleds loaded with concrete bricks.
Right?
It's painful to watch.
Did you ever see the Porsche commercial? I don't know if you have that up in Canada, not Porsche, but the Porsche commercial. So the first, I don't know, 50 seconds talks about all the care that goes into it, the modeling, the styling, the aerodynamic testing, the hand-stitched leather, the things. And then and this is so-and-so, and it was the guy. It's like he stitches the leather for the seats, and he does the steering wheel, and he manufactures the fold-down top, and it goes into, and there's beautiful music playing, and the guy is just in love with his job. And then he's walking past the crash test sled, and as he looks in, there's a Porsche getting slammed into a wall, and he just drops his head.
It's like I did all this work for the car to be slammed into walls. Yeah. I can see that.
Crazy. Cheers, chat room. Mark has the next story about something that I'm actually kind of excited about.
Wow.
I know, right?
I would not have guessed that.
Really?
I really would not have guessed that. But what is coming, which we got a little whiff of last week on the show, is this.
Whoa.
A sleek new Tesla key fob.
Look at that.
And look, it's measured in millimeters.
How about that? So that thing could be 6 feet across.
You have no idea what the size of this is.
Are you sure those are millimeters? I mean, those look like that looks like a football field to me.
Right? It could be. Although your football field's measured in millimeters in Canada, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, meters. Not quite millimeters.
Oh, now you're getting fussy.
But there we are, and you can see it is the Model 3's key fob.
Yeah.
Or they've skillfully taken a Model S and rubbed out the S and put a 3 on it. One or the other. One or the other. But last week we had confirmation from actually Trevor at Model 3 Owners Club, who had found in Industry Canada, I guess, communication that they were looking for a frequency for the Model 3. And it also was found shortly after in some U.S. documentation. So now the photos have appeared, and yes, we can hardly wait to get our hands on this. Some of us that are having issues with their phones opening the car reliably would certainly trade for a key fob that is more familiar to most. And Russell, why are you excited about this?
So I like key fobs. I think it was a huge mistake for Tesla not to provide one with the car. I get what they were trying to do. I get it. And, you know, I'm still not a big supporter of Apple having eliminated the headphone jack on their phones, right? So sometimes I cling to the past. And in the case of the key fob, I do. The only question that I have is, why does it have to look like a car? Why can't it be small and flat and something that's going to sit in my pocket and be comfy? I get why it looks like a car because it's cute, but I don't think it has to look like a car. I think it can just be something that will slide in my pocket and have a button or have a sensor or something, and it'll interact with the car and it'll allow me entrance into the car without having to worry about whether my phone's working or the entry card is.
I have to say that designing it to look like a little car is genius.
Okay.
It is absolutely genius. It's like I've got a Chevy key fob that's just a regular, teardrop type style. But man, having a little miniature version of your car, that is awesome. Like, it's just awesome. I can't see how you wouldn't want that.
They should come in different colors. I mean, granted, it wouldn't be the exact same red.
It should have wheels, right? We'll be next.
No, not wheels, but it should have. They should have colors that match the car, so that it sort of looks like this is the car. That's all I'm saying.
I think that would be even more brilliant if they could do that. That would just be too much.
I would rather it look like a little tiny phone that was flat and it had whatever small buttons and it slipped into my pocket easily because, but hey, yay, key fob.
Yeah.
Yay.
No. Okay. So I thought for sure you were going to point out when you said you had a question.
Yes. Me?
I thought you were going to have the same question I had.
Which is what?
Why does it have a
2032 battery?
Why does it have a 2032 battery?
Why? Well, something has to power it. Are you saying it should have like a built-in rechargeable battery?
Yes.
Oh,
is there okay?
Size.
Is there Qi charging in the Tesla?
Yes.
I honestly don't know.
So there's no Qi charging in the Tesla. No,
okay.
you can buy an aftermarket accessory. But
yeah.
Okay. Because what I was thinking that how cool would it be if you could Qi charge your fob using your car?
No,
But I just don't. I mean, I just don't like the idea of a disposable throwaway one-use lithium-ion battery in a car that you should never have to replace the batteries.
But if you do notice in the picture you're showing, Tony, there is a windmill that can power it right there.
Oh my God! I don't know how I missed that.
That just pops up when the wind starts blowing, and it keeps that little key fob going.
So hold it out the window.
The only thing about that is that, number one, a 2032 is very common. It's easy to find. It's not expensive, especially if you buy them on Amazon or something. If you go to Home Depot and buy it, it's like $8 for one, but whatever. It would be perfect. It would be wonderful if everything was rechargeable and we weren't throwing away batteries. But in some cases, throwaway batteries are way more convenient and way better for the end user than rechargeable batteries. And I can only give you one example from personal experience, and it's this. Do you see what this is? This is a hearing aid. Russell wears these, and they there are ones available, hearing aids that have rechargeable batteries, and they suck. They're horrible. And guess what happens when your batteries wear out? You have to take it out and recharge it. And guess what you hear when the battery is recharging?
I'm guessing nothing.
Not as much.
Yeah.
Whereas I have a little thing that sits on my keychain that has 2 little spare batteries in it. And if the batteries die, I can replace them like that. So
I get that. But all I'm saying here, I just think in this case, since the batteries on a fob usually last a very, very long time.
They do. Yeah.
I just thought it would be cool if, sometime overnight you could throw it on a charging pad and do that maybe once every couple months or something and just top it off. Or I just thought it would be a good idea. You just wait. This is episode number what's its butt, and mark the date because someday Tesla's going to have a rechargeable battery in a fob, and I'm going to say I told you so, and you're going to say no, you didn't.
So I'll go you one better.
We're not going to start betting, are we?
I don't have that device, but one of my favorite watches is a Citizen Echo Drive watch that has a little tiny solar panel and that stores electricity in a capacitor. And if the device wasn't a silly looking little car, if it was like this, but tiny little portion of that, it could have a little solar panel on it. You could toss it on your dash and charge it every time you drove your car.
Yeah, that would be cool too. Yeah.
You guys should go into marketing.
I know.
If you hate me, just shoot me. Don't wish a marketing job on me.
Oh man.
I think I have the next story and I all of a sudden have to
I got some cool pictures on that.
Do you have some cool pictures on that?
Yeah.
Okay, you get those pictures up. Let's talk for a second about SpaceX. That other Tesla-related company that has a few people or at least one person in common. SpaceX showed off some pictures of the first completed portions of the BFR spaceship. And we all know what BFR stands for, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I don't
chat room. What does BFR stand for?
What does BFR stand for? Thank you. And here is a human. Well, not there, but
where?
On your screen. I'm looking at it on my screen. No one else is looking at it. This is a portion of the BFR main airframe. Let's see. Wait. I have to look and see what Tony's looking at. So that this is the carbon composite section of the prototype. They don't say.
See, now Mark jump to it. I'm going to show for reference this ring.
There we go. Look at that. There's a human standing there.
Yeah.
That's how big this is. Now this is a carbon fiber composite thing. This thing is huge.
9 meters diameter.
Okay.
Go ahead, ask. What the hell's a meter?
It's like 30 feet. Okay. No, I mean, 9 meters is like 30 feet. A meter isn't 30 feet. Meters, what? 33 inches?
A meter is basically 3 feet.
Is it 36? I thought it was a little bit different than 36.
So it's a little different, but for our purposes, it's 3 feet.
1 meter is 3.25 feet.
Thank you very much. So, that's this is the first portions of this that that SpaceX has shown. And by the way, can you guys? Who am I on here? Mark, can you show me one of the other pictures on this article? Because the interesting thing is, where is this being made? Where indeed? Look, it's a tent.
No. It's not a tent. It's a sprung structure.
Thank you. There it is, looking in. Clearly a spy shot. There's part of the thing. And yes, they're making this now. Unlike Model 3s, when you're making something that's 30 feet in diameter, you need a big structure, a big sprung structure to do that. And that's part of the reason why that this is being made in a tent.
Now, is this really part of the BFR, or does this one out front outside of the tent look a lot like a skateboard platform?
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
Maybe it's multi-purpose.
It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when the little grabby ship catches it, maybe that's what it is afterwards.
There you go.
You know, maybe that's its ultimate purpose. But anyway, always cool to see progress at SpaceX. Always cool to see them doing things. And gosh, aren't we excited about the BFR? Did anybody in the chat room want to offer an explanation?
We had a big Falcon rocket. We had a big flying rocket.
Falcon rocket.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Falcon
Which, you know, I believe Falcon when said with a South African accent.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Now, one other thing.
Yes,
this tent is at the port of Los Angeles.
Yes.
And some people are asking, why on earth are they building this stuff at the port of Los Angeles when all their other rockets are built in Hawthorne? Well, the reason is because they're too damn big to transport now. They can't get them across the city to the port to transport out if they need to. Therefore, they're now building them at the port, and that's where this sprung structure has been put in place.
And then they're going to what? Ship it
By barge
to
different areas. Certainly, different air bases that they can launch on the West Coast.
Why would they ship it? I mean, you know these things fly, right?
Yeah. The problem again is being in Hawthorne, lighting a rocket up in the middle of Hawthorne to move it over to the port probably is drawing too much attention.
Somebody's going to get hurt. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Keep in mind, they don't even allow fireworks on the 4th of July in Hawthorne. Okay. So you don't want to land a big Falcon rocket.
Yeah. So lighting up a 9-engine BFR in the middle of Hawthorne is probably going to bring some unwanted attention.
It's probably not a good idea. Things burn in California really easy. Have I made that point?
Not fireworks.
Yeah, it's not. We don't like fire here. Very, very selectively. Mark has the next story and it's all about education.
It's all about education. Well,
did I? Was that too enigmatic of an introduction?
I don't even know what enigmatic means. So maybe you are correct. Maybe you're not correct.
Very
What has happened recently is there has been a big push, Q3 push to get cars into owners' hands. And we've seen this all throughout this week and last week. If you've been watching the Twitter feed at the Tesla Life, you've noticed a number of stories about this large push as Tesla runs towards profitability in Q3, wanting to break even, wanting to get into profit, trying to put as many cars in owners' hands as they can. And Elon had indicated that part of the new bottleneck, or where they're now seeing issues, is this delivery into owners' hands. And then one of the YouTube celebrities out there, or podcast celebrities, Ryan from Ride the Lightning, had indicated to Elon through a tweet that he and other Tesla owners would be more than happy to donate some of their time to maybe answer questions of new owners to allow Tesla employees to move on to the next group to get the cars into more hands quicker with the limited staff that they have. So Elon, to no real surprise, replied back, "Can you start showing up on Monday?" And there was a movement. Many different people offered their services to Tesla staff to sign on as a volunteer for different days. Different Tesla groups across the country, here in Ontario as well, were able to put together groups of people that would volunteer and put them into different time slots throughout the day, so that when a car is sold, the paperwork is done by Tesla employees, all the official stuff is done, and then they are pointed in the direction of these guests who can show them the ropes about the car. So they're there to answer the additional questions. They're there to help the new owners with different I guess, information about the car, about education, about how things work, and allow them to understand at their own pace, not being pushed out as quickly because they have more time to deal with someone that actually knows the car and is happy to show them the ropes of how this car is operated.
Did you just insult all the delivery specialists who don't really know the car very well?
Well, yes.
Just curious.
So this has been now going on for a few days now. And from the tweets and social media posts that I've seen over the weekend and into Monday, Tuesday, it seems to be being well received by the new owners, by Tesla corporate, by the volunteers. So it seems to be something that's working out well for everybody. Now, this obviously is just a short-term solution. This is something to get them over the hump, but many volunteers are happy to help. And it just says something about the company that there are that many volunteers and people that are willing to give up their own time freely just to share information, to help others, and really promote the brand is what they're doing, which is something that you rarely see through, other commercial groups that are selling any type of product. So this is something of interest.
Russell disagrees.
Tony, what do we have any idea of an example of a car where the owners were really involved in helping pioneer the brand? Can you think of maybe even a motor vehicle maybe that's done this before? I'm just curious.
God, if only I could remember the Prius name, I would probably.
Yeah.
So
you don't see this coming out from people that own, I don't know, F-150.
No,
not F-150.
You do see a lot in the old car world.
In the old days, especially more so than now.
Yeah, I've actually done my time at auto dealerships.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I want to say about this is shame on Tesla for not being more prepared. Shame on them. Shame on them for taking people that have spent upwards of $50,000-$60,000 and counting on volunteers to come in to instruct them, and not having a really great delivery experience from somebody who is paid for and professional and polished and has the time. Shame on Tesla for wanting to get the whole process down to like 300 seconds. Yeah. So that they can move people in and move people out. Shame on them, because this is an expensive car and every one of those buyers deserves the care and feeding that I got when I picked up my $21,000 Corolla at the Toyota dealership 3 years ago. And they spent 45 minutes programming everything and adding the phone and showing my wife how to do it and all of this stuff. Shame on Tesla.
I think one thing to bear in mind, though, is that this is a bit of a paradigm shift for Tesla. The amount of vehicles that they're moving through is something that they've never experienced. Although you could say that they could have planned for it.
Yes, they knew about this 2 years ago.
Yeah, they did know about it. But I know that the delivery experience of someone that gets an S or an X previous to the Model 3 launch was a lot different of an experience. A lot of people loved it, said it was fantastic to be able to show on all the different features, and felt that they weren't rushed and they were able to ask any questions and walk through it piece by piece. But again, with a model that they're now pushing out in unprecedented numbers for them, that model does not work. You cannot have that same model, because the amount of staff that you would have to have
bullshit
would be a lot.
Okay, so let me ask this. I mean, now that Russell's kind of brought this to light, they should have planned for this.
Own your own shit, Schaefer.
all on Russell. Okay. You had said before, and they had, Elon had said, like, this is to get them over the hump of what Elon called delivery hell.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so once they've proven that they can manufacture many thousands of cars per week, are they going to slow down? Are they going to stop manufacturing that many cars?
Because the plan is to accelerate to 10,000 a week.
So you're going to need more volunteers, is what you're saying.
Well, again, this is a short-term thing. This cannot be sustainable
until they make more cars. In which case, it's going to be short-term, even worse.
Right.
I don't know what the solution is.
And I'm not putting it on you.
I know it's not volunteers. That is not the solution.
Right.
The point is, they really should reevaluate this and say, how can we do this with Tesla employees and not volunteers? Because it's only going to get worse.
And again, this was a suggestion that someone gave over the internet to Elon direct, and Elon said, "You know what? Why not help us out?" Certainly.
And Russell and I are not going to bash the volunteers because we have done this for the last 14 years. And like Russell said, we've spent our time at car shows and dealerships talking to owners and potential owners, whatever. So we're not opposed to the whole volunteer thing. And kudos to the people who gave up time in the middle of their day to go do this. It's absolutely amazing on their part. However, this is not sustainable.
Here's the thing. Tesla's had 2 years to plan for this. They had 2 years to, and I'm going to save this for another news story that's coming up.
Okay.
I've said everything I need to say about this issue. Let's, I don't mean to cut you guys off. Keep going.
So what we've got here is again, it's a short-term solution. Owners are coming out to spread their knowledge and help new owners to let them know what's going on with the car and allow them to ask whatever questions. And on top of this, Tesla is also trying some other delivery methods, and I don't know if it's sustainable either. Like they're saying that they were offering free delivery to your home, to your office. Does that really speed things up if they're taking 2 or 3 cars out on the road and dropping them off at individual places? I don't think the time frame is sped up anymore. But these are new things. These are new things they're trying to find out if they work better, if they help at all. But they seem to be certainly constrained by deliveries at this point, which is, I think it's a great thing that they're constrained by something else. They're moving on from one problem to a different problem. And that's, certainly they have to do that in order to succeed. You've got to run into the other problems, work through them, and move on. I don't know what the end solution is. It's certainly not volunteers, but it's interesting to see that Tesla is now running into these other issues outside of production of the vehicles.
Mm-hmm. So it seems, I don't know if additional locations, because then in addition to then you have additional locations, and then you have, the real estate and the building and the lease and the HVAC and, and on and on and on and on.
That may be part of it, Tony, is that they need more physical locations. And they're going to have to up their capital costs because they're going to have more locations in, urban areas or areas that the cars are selling, rapidly. There was even discussion that during this week that just in the Bay Area alone, San Francisco area, that they were going to be moving something like 1,000 cars a day for 7 days.
Wow!
So a ton of cars are being moved. I know that here in Ontario, up here, they've rented, again, the International Center, and something like over 1,000 vehicles have arrived in Toronto for delivery within the next few weeks. So there is a lot of cars that are being moved and all pushing towards that Q3 profitability.
Let's be clear. I mean, again, I have issues with Tesla's lack of planning here. But just to highlight how much of a lack there was, in June, when Elon basically shut down the home energy division, they laid off most of the home energy staff. The ones that they kept all became delivery experience specialists and went to these delivery centers to facilitate the delivery of Model 3s. So we're talking about previously, the minimal locations of the Tesla stores and these delivery centers were very minimally staffed. Well, they staffed them up probably 3 or 4 times with what they had previously staffed, and they're still understaffed.
Yeah,
that's, again, I think that it feels to me like a real lack of planning, and whether that comes through hubris or not understanding, like, oh, well, yeah, hey, if we're going to sell 400,000 cars and we're going to make 5,000 cars a week, we actually have to help people pick them up.
I don't think hubris is. I would like to think hubris didn't play a role, but I honestly think someone just failed. And I know failed sounds like a really bad word.
No, I give you the fail. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone just simply didn't do the math to say, if we're going to be manufacturing, 7,000, 8,000 cars a week, we need a way to get rid of 8,000 cars a week. And this is what that's going to look like. And, maybe they just didn't know. Maybe now they understand, and then, in a month we'll be saying, hey, look, they fixed it. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to find out because, like, as Tony had said, they're not going to slow down. They're going to speed up. So that would just say that the problem would get worse if they're unable to find some sort of solution that can ramp with it. So we will see over the next few months as to what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they will be doing home delivery, but they'll be using the flatbeds, and they're just going to lower it and just drop the car.
Okay, now you're being silly.
With a volunteer who says, "Hey, can you take me home?"
So one of the things that we talk about regularly on this show is the Tesla Semi.
Yes, indeed.
And I don't know. See, so I have some problems doing this because we end up getting involved in copyright issues. So I'm going to try it. And if we have to edit this out of the final show, then we have to edit it out. This is a video with sound of the Tesla Semi leaving a facility in Draper, Utah, where it was visiting. I don't remember whose facility that was, by the way. Did they say? No, they don't say. But that would be easy enough to find. And really, who cares whose facility it was? So here is what everyone's been waiting for, right? Oh, not that. This. There we go. And let's put up the sound because maybe you'll even be able to hear it. I don't know. I'm going to try. Okay, and then here's the video.
Can anyone say Star Trek?
Uh-huh. Yeah. It certainly doesn't have that low gear roar. Wow.
That's remarkable.
It sounds like a really big slot car, which is cool. That's not a bad thing.
Right.
No smoke. That was kind of fun. No big, huge plumes of coal coming out the back.
No middle-aged guy in a Mazda Miata behind it going.
Hey, wait. Is that me?
Are you in a Miata?
I don't have a Miata, no.
Okay, then there you go.
It's probably not you.
Probably not me. So, it's cool. There's that video came from Teslarati. Please visit them, teslarati.com, and you can see the video again, and you can see the exciting takeoff of the Tesla Semi.
Well, what's remarkable again is the speed that it just jumps out of the gate with. Like that's you never see that. You see a truck pulling out of a property, and it like takes forever for that truck to move along. But man, this thing just rockets down the road after getting by its turn. So remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
It's going to be fun to drive, I'll bet.
Oh,
yeah.
exactly.
I'll bet. Well, Mark, why don't you take the next one? Speaking of Model 3 deliveries.
Just touched on this just a moment ago about the free home and office deliveries offered at many locations throughout the U.S. There was some reports early about the San Francisco and Los Angeles areas, and we actually posted this on our Twitter feed at the Tesla Life, if you're not already following. And we found that we got a number of respondents across the country, Chicago, New Jersey, Florida, where people were responding back that they indeed received the offer as well to get the car delivered to them free of charge, no extra charge for it, because Tesla wants to move these cars. They've got to move them. Along with this story, there was another one that a particular volunteer was at a Utah location, and they happened to be beside a Jaguar dealer. And the Jaguar dealer made the comment to this volunteer as to what was Tesla doing with all these particular vehicles rolling in on trucks. Where were they going to put them?
Where are they going to put them?
Where are you going to stack these things? Of course, the answer was that, well, they're not staying. They're immediately moving out. So the volume, again, not like a traditional dealer where these things are since they've lined them up, they know when they're coming in. They got the clients coming in every half hour to pick them up and move them out. So there's a huge turnover happening at these lots as the days go along. So again, another I guess indication of volume that is going on as we approach the end of the third quarter.
And what's another indicator of volume, Mark?
What's another indicator of volume?
The next story.
Is it mass times?
So again, with this volume that's going on, we've got another problem that Elon prompted on Twitter. Of course, his favorite medium is that they're running short on car carriers to move these things. And Elon quickly tweeted back that they've decided that they're going to start making their own car carrier trailers to help out. And it's like, really? Are they not doing enough of other things that they're now going to start manufacturing car carrier trailers?
Could they ship them through the boring company's holes?
Well, that was the thought of maybe hooking up some different manufacturing plants to deliver the parts underground. But man, this is a whole different ball game where you're going to start building trailers to help move your product. You know, I don't know if this is just talk, if this is Elon just spouting out on Twitter, or if he's serious. Many of us scoffed at the idea that they were going to start to sell a flamethrower or not a flamethrower. But yeah. That did happen. So again, Elon has said that through a Twitter post that they're going to start doing some manufacturing of their own trailers.
That is fucking stupid. Let me explain how stupid that is. Once again, 2 years to plan for this. A ramp up time of months and months and months when you are ramping up your production. Yet, no one thought, hey, we might need some trailers. No one thought, hey, maybe we should hire some logistics companies to do this stuff for us. No. And Elon's solution isn't to buy more trailers, which, by the way, are available on the open market, new and used at very reasonable prices. No. Elon's bullshit solution is we're going to build them ourselves.
It does sound a little bit insane, does it not?
It sounds like he doesn't respect the intelligence of everyone else who is listening and going, Elon, that's brilliant. That's genius. It is not genius. It is not brilliant. It is stupid. My opinion only. That's all I'm going to say.
UPS is good with logic. He could have just slapped a UPS sticker on them and
exactly.
take care of
Put a
it.
sticker on the back.
Mm-hmm.
second day air, boom. I don't, you know what I mean? Like it's, I just, this is one of those things like you don't have any excuse. You're a manufacturer. You don't have any excuse for some things. And the example that that everyone here everyone can relate to this. You're on the phone and you call somebody and they go, well, hit 1 for English. Okay. Hit 0 for customer service. And what do you hear? What's the message you hear? Due to high call volume,
due to high call volume
experience, you may see an extended wait. You know what is never an excuse in my world? Your business's success for making me wait. If your business is successful and you have customers in your store or calling your store or buying your product, you as a manufacturer have no excuse for not being able, for making the consumer then go, oh yeah, you guys just chill for 10 minutes while we answer your phone call, because we don't want to hire more people to answer the phones, or we don't want to pay for more trucks. Is that ranty enough, Mark?
That's pretty ranty.
That was pretty ranty. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Say that.
Okay. Everybody in the chat room hate me yet?
Yeah,
not everyone. No, but a good percentage.
Oh, boom! It's like that goes. Yeah.
No, but you make a valid point. Like, who is making these things? Who's going to start actually making these things when you can buy them used, when you can buy them new? I don't understand how, you know, they're not going to be a trailer manufacturer as a primary job. Like that, it just. There are others that do it well and others that put them out. I don't understand the tweet. I don't get it.
No.
Yeah, I just, you know, I understand the need to have more trailers to move more cars. That makes perfect sense, and that's how cars are moved. I don't understand the need to build their own because, like Russell said, you can just order and buy them, and they don't seem simple to me. You know, you have the hydraulics, you have the stuff. I'm sure they have to be tested. They probably have to be crash tested by NHTSA. I would think that if you decided you were going to start making a car trailer today, it would be several months in the future before you had a road-worthy, reliable product.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to help them in the short term.
I understand the need. They need to move more cars. I just don't think building is the best. Building them themselves is the best option.
Well, let's leave it with that. We'll see what happens. But our last story of the week is about version 9 software that hit today. A number of testers started to receive the version 9 and immediately started posting on social media about what they were finding and what cool new features and screens were appearing for them. And actually a number of people on our Twitter feed, even someone that's with us all the time, Mark Benton, he is a tester and posted a number of his photos that got picked up by national media, and I think we're seeing some of that right here on the screen.
Oh.
They have increased the detail of the mapping that we can see here on the left. And on the right, we've got new menus that are showing up. And inside those menus for the Model 3, some new features that were never there before. An energy monitor, where you can now click on and see your energy consumption. A web browser, which to this point did not exist inside the Model 3, only was in the S and the X. Now the Model 3 gets a web browser as well. Some icons have changed. We've got certainly a calendar application. We've got Atari games have shown up. What? Centipede, Lunar Launch, or Lunar Lander, and
Major Havoc.
No. Missile Command has appeared.
Wow.
Nice.
Yes. So these now Atari games are now possible to be used on the Model 3. And in this photo here, Russell, are those key fobs surrounding that?
Yes. That car's in key fob traffic.
That car is in heavy key fob traffic, as well as a bubble biker to the left.
Yeah.
Are those Lux? What's the car? The one we were talking about last week?
That looks like the Model 3 key fob, actually.
Yeah.
So these giant key fobs are now following your car down the highway.
Wow.
The representations have now changed, and they're actually showing trucks as well. So you've got the key fobs, you've got the motorcycles, and you've got now trucks that are showing the representation on screen as well. And I believe this was from Mark Benton's screenshots that he put up, thankfully, to let everybody else see it. Yeah. Right? Of course. Okay. What other way would there be, Tony?
Right. Yeah.
But this is great news. Again, only going to testers at this point. As Elon had stated, that he hopes that if all testing goes well, that they will start a larger rollout at the end of the week. So, yeah, we're all excited to see this, to be able to get some of these new features on our cars, and can hardly wait.
That's very cool.
Yes.
So Lee has show title. So Missile Command is good for the incoming airplanes, and then Hockey Day said Misleading Command. Yeah.
Very good.
Misleading Command. I kind of like that. That's nice. Way to go. Okay. Let's do some shout outs and go home, gentlemen.
I'm presenting still.
I know, but that's okay, because you're going to do shout out. You do your shout out first. How's that?
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I haven't even started drinking yet, by the way, just water. So, yeah. Anyway,
I'm just drinking urine.
My shout outs, as usual, go to everyone in the chat room. Thanks, everyone. And, some special shout outs I want to say to Lawrence, who a few times hit the topic right on the head. Not going to mention which ones. Yeah, thanks everyone in the room for hanging out with us, spending an hour with us, even though some people admitted they were multitasking and only half paying attention. But that's okay. So were we.
Yeah, we're multitasking on this show. That's what we specialize in. Mr. Coughlin.
Thanks to everyone watching the show. Please, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button for the YouTube channel. Help us out with a number or two. We would really appreciate it. You can follow us again on Twitter at The Tesla Life. You can follow us on Facebook, The Tesla Life #1. And we would appreciate that follow. So please help us out. Give us a number. We would really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, thanks to Tony and Mark and me. I guess I can thank me, right? Because I showed up. Woo! Thanks, as always, to Lee Moon for our theme music. Lee Moon!
Yeah.
Woo! And maybe Misleading Command. Maybe that's the title. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be something about homemade car carriers. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm going to be a little enigmatic about that. And that means mysterious. Otherwise,
that's what that means.
That's what that means. All I have to say is tune in next week and find out what is going on in the Tesla life.